shall ensure that the similar progress reports are available to the news media and to the district media. That's section 10.4. And I can guarantee that that has not happened for a long time.
And so that'll be an important piece to remember as we jump into the 1000 section with the Neola work. Are those goals that are still current? And are those expectations of this board? And what is the, given all the changes legislatively, what are the recommended reports? What are the recommended periodic updates? And then make sure we affirm those first reading, second reading as part of that work as we jump into the 1000. So what I've written down is to bring back a few proposals for the board about a visioning workshop, some options, and then to discuss this, and then we set a date. Anything else that you would like for me to do on this particular topic?
Could you just put out an email to the district employees and see if anybody else has a different vision statement in any of the plans or paperwork or things that they've submitted to the state to see if there are different versions out there?
I can do that. We'll start with the school improvement and work through the school improvement and the district improvement plans, and then look through what administration and staff might show or have in their records, and I'll pull those together.
Motion?
Support. So, motion by Ms. Louise, support by Mr. Zorn. Questions?
Dave Myers.
Oh, Dave Myers.
And question.
Question.
So, before we leave this topic, was there any other, along with that, one of the things that is trying to drive some, metrics and dashboard type things, I think that should be a part of that, obviously that would flow into that in terms of how you're reporting, aligning our type dashboard type reports with state requirements. Try to keep it as simple as possible. Was that your thoughts as well?
Under this particular action item?
Yeah, in terms of mission and vision.
Yeah. I mean, certainly under the mission statement, as we're looking at action steps to target our goals, it can be that increase. Right now, we have the transparency report document on the website. Are those reports packaged in a way that's easily digestible by the public and members of the board, members of the school staff? Or do we need to break those down further? I know you shared some graphs. Penny and I have a bunch of different items that we have prepared to share under other one. But yeah, where you're getting at is like step 6 in the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Stellini, support by Dave Myers. Hearing no questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. What do you have to say? Any more?
Other one?
Other one now.
4.01, other one.
Penny, do you want to start with yours, and then what I'll do is I'll share information that kind of relates to that, and then I have a few things that are kind of follow-up other ones from prior discussions. I know there was a question about what was the exact language on the bond, so I have copies for everyone that I'll pass around. The millage, I have the TVLA student transfer document draft prepared that I'll share. Those don't relate at all, they're all disparate, but I'll wait until the end and to share those with you.
After last meeting, Petito had emailed and requested information as to how much Kennedy would cost, or a projection of a number. So what I did is I took the 15-16 actual expenses for just the building information and put it on there, and kind of gave a list of what it cost for the high school, the major aspects of it. Now, these numbers do not include any special ed numbers because we don't have those broken out by building. They're general district-wide numbers. So that would mean all the EI classrooms, resource room teachers, all of those things would not be in there. And then what Mr. Williams also kind of asked me to do was go through and kind of see what our potential savings would be just by looking at the numbers right off the top. What's attached, as you can see, is the actual expenditure report from the SMART system, so that you can see that the numbers match what was audited and sent through the system and how it broke down. So if you really wanted the detail of what account was what, it's listed on the next 5 pages.
So Penny, if I'm summarizing this first column, the 15-16 actual expense, and I total all those things, I'm getting down to a combined cost across all function coded areas, with the exception of special ed, of $6.5 million, or 6.472.
Correct. You wouldn't have special ed in there, and that includes the speech, the OT, the social workers, any of that aspect. And also wouldn't be in here would be transportation, because that's a
Right.
district-wide expense as well.
Okay.
So anything that's particularly identified as a building expense, or strictly to that building.
But there should be a transportation savings if you're combining runs.
And there would be, and this savings is actually a minimum savings. We wouldn't necessarily know what that would be until we did the combining of the runs and moving things around. So without doing all of that in 2 days, I don't have a cost savings for you on that aspect. What I did was just take things that I knew we would save. If you look at the athletics, obviously athletics programs would then be in one building. So you could realistically take all the athletic expense from Kennedy and say, I'm not putting that into the program that's at Truman. I'm not sure that you would, but you could. And therefore, because it's already running its own program over there, use that cost. So that could be the potential savings for athletics of $200,000, which is Kennedy's cost. When you look at the administration, you know that you're going to eliminate clerical and the principals. Due to the contract language and the numbers, we know that we would have to add an assistant principal to Truman and a secretary to go with it, but all the rest would then be eliminated. And that's just an estimated cost without plugging in the staff and realizing which person is going to be laid off or anything like that. They were just rough estimates.
So the second column that shows minimum potential savings of $1,086,000
Correct.
is the bare minimum, because it doesn't take into consideration any teacher changes that the combined might affect, or anything other than what's listed here, because we have a combined, you show that we would have an administrative reduction, a clerical reduction. There might be a program reduction, so you wouldn't have 2 DECA programs, you'd have 1.
You wouldn't have 2 band programs, you'd have 1.
You'd have
So
one.
how you'd reduce that staff would really be up to administration's decision on which programs you're reducing. So there would be instructional savings,
Right.
but at this time, until you know how you're combining the programs, I'm not putting that in there because it's a projected cost. And I could say, it being finance, I could say, okay, let's take the student number and add it all up and say, okay, you can eliminate 15 positions, when in realistically you couldn't. It could be 8 or 10 or 7. I don't know.
Sure. So minimum, based on just the numbers in the right column, is $1 million, basically $1 million.
Correct.
We have on paper a confirmed savings of $810,000 from SGA,
Correct.
and Kennedy's larger. So
Correct.
it would stand to reason that the savings would also be larger.
Yeah.
Your third